Well, hello there, traveller. Coming in from the cold, we've got a nice warm fire going.
Welcome to the Hearth and Tome tavern. Can I pour you a cup of something hot?
We've also got some wonderful books here if you're interested. After all, there's nothing better than curling up by the fire with a hot drink and a good book.
It's true, and we've been reading some really good books lately. So why not pull up a chair and let us tell you all about them?
Hello and welcome back to the Hearth and Tome Book Club, a monthly podcast hosted by me, Phoenix Arden. I use they, them pronouns.
And me, Eve Handyside, I use any pronouns. Welcome back to the tavern. It's November
Somehow it's November.
Yeah, we don't know how we got here. We're going to be talking about Red Scholar's Wake today by Aliette de Bodard. This was an interesting time.
I would like to apologise in advance because I guarantee I will not pronounce any of these names correctly.
Oh, for sure.
I would like to apologise to all of the French and Vietnamese and French Vietnamese people because that is the origin of a lot of these names. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to try, but I don't speak French or
up.
Vietnamese, and neither does Eve, I assume.
Yeah.
So.
No. But yeah.
I would also like to apologise to anybody who read this book because...
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
It progressively got worse. Neither of us thought this was a good book.
Okay, so let's start with our standard little summary of Red Scholar's Wake.
Of the book.
It is about there's a human called Zichsi, I don't know, something like that, who is like an engineer, like a technician. She works with bots, and she has been captured by pirates, space pirates, because this is in space. And then she meets the leader of these pirates, who is a mind ship, which basically is just, a sentient spaceship, who is called Ricefish. And Ricefish proposes that they, have this, fake political marriage thing so that Zichsi is protected from other pirates and won't be, assaulted or anything. And in return...
Yeah.
She provides bots or something. She helps Ricefish somehow. I'm still not entirely clear on what Ricefish was getting out of this. But shockingly, they fall in love and then it all just goes downhill from there. There's stuff that happens, it's not interesting.
There's supposed to be political intrigue between the banners. There isn't really. No.
Yeah, so they're part of the Red Banner, which is one of 5 banners, and these 5 banners all work together, or not work together, but all cooperate as pirates. And they're all different colours. So there's the green banner, purple, black, and white. And that's why, the Red Scholar, because that's the person who's the leader of the Red Banner. It's technically pirates in space.
Technically. There was a distinct lack
fun
times and
just everything good.
Especially because while reading this, the new season of Our Flag Means Death
I haven't watched any of it yet.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
I know I am, but don't talk about it.
Oh, in comparison...
Well, that's not hard, though, is it?
Sucked. This book sucked so hard.
That doesn't mean much.
So much. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, as...
One has a distinct lack of Vico Ortiz.
Yeah, I love Vico Ortiz. God damn.
Same.
Whew.
They look even better this season.
Anyway.
Reminder that we are using the Copile system by Book Roast, which goes through character, atmosphere and setting, writing style, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment.
Yes. You give each one a score out of 10, add them all up and divide by 7, and that gives you an overall score for the book. And also,
Yes.
just before we launch in, obviously, spoilers for the Red Scholar's Wake coming up.
Yep.
I would normally at this point say pause the podcast and listen to the book. Don't.
Don't.
Just
Run.
Just don't.
Get out.
Just let us spoil it for you, because there's not, like, I don't think there's anything that really gets spoiled. So,
No.
but, you know, if you're really determined to read it, I guess go do that, but do so with the warning that it's not good.
It's not good at
So,
all.
Eve, what was your overall score for this book out of 10?
2.
I gave it a 2.4.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Quite close.
Quite
Yeah.
close. I will say right off the bat, one of us finished
Yes,
this book.
I finished this book.
And one of us didn't.
I'm not gonna let this be like, oh, which one of us did? No, it was me. I finished it.
Which one of us
I
did
powered through.
I couldn't do it. Okay. I got 52% in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was happening. This is not my fault. I couldn't.
We did.
I couldn't be there.
We did
anymore.
agree that
Yeah.
from now on, any book that we read that we're not enjoying, at least 50% of the way through before you can DNF it. But
Yeah.
once you're 50%,
And I have looked up what
yeah,
happened.
obviously.
But it's just so it was just
It's
I couldn't-
understandable.
My brain.
I don't blame you.
My brain was it was too mushy
Yeah.
for my brain. My brain became too mushy. I mean,
Yep.
I couldn't process anything that it was trying to tell me.
Right. Okay. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about this, but
Oh yeah, no, we should
think-
just probably just
I
drop
think
right
I'm
in,
right in
'cause-
saying, right, because I got to when I got to about 50% of the way through, I was like, oh, I think this might have been the final straw for Eve. Was it the sex scene?
Maybe.
Was that what killed it for you?
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
do
because
it.
I was like, I can understand why you weren't enjoying it up to that point.
I
as
was
well.
like-
but then I was like, oh, this is definitely going to have been the straw that broke the camel's back here.
It was also because they tried to put plot in that sex scene.
Yeah, it was just an unnecessary.
Why was it there?
Yeah,
This was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the other sun book. What was it? The fisting
Oh,
scene.
She Who Became the Sun.
Yep.
Yeah, but at
DNF.
least She Who Became the Sun otherwise was good.
That one was good, yeah. But what?
Yeah. No, I was sitting reading the book and I got to the point at which you said you DNF'd it and I was like, oh, that's why. That's been the thing, is this sex scene, because it does just not need to be there and sort of comes out of nowhere, and I didn't like it.
It was
and it's weird.
horrible. It makes no sense
Yeah.
as well.
Most of the book makes no sense.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to use this word a lot, but I'm going to say it now. This book, in a lot of ways, just utterly incomprehensible.
Oh, absolutely. I got nothing. I got no
yeah.
words.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
had too many
let's-
words.
Let's go. Let's just launch right
Let's
in
just go for it.
and spend the next however long complaining about this book.
Yeah.
Okay. Characters. I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 1.
Okay. I kept getting all of the characters confused with each other,
Same.
particularly the main two.
Uh-huh.
I had to keep reminding myself which one was the ship and which one was the human. And that is including the fact that all of the ship's names are written in italics in the book.
Yeah.
I still had to be like, oh, Ricefish is the ship and Zeech is the human. Because they have the same personality.
Uh-huh. And you switch between them very often.
Yep.
And they never warn you when that's about to happen.
And it's not even chapter by chapter. Sometimes midway through a chapter, you just suddenly swap.
Yeah. Suddenly you're somewhere else in the ship.
And because they felt so similar to each other, it consistently took me a moment to be like, whose point of view am I reading right now?
Exactly.
Which
And
is
then
never a good sign.
For 15% of the book, for the first half, first half for me, I couldn't tell who I was in. I couldn't tell who was who. I thought for some reason that Zishi was the ship, and then was so confused when suddenly they were talking about having a child. I was like, huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They never connected emotionally either. Either of them never communicated with one another, ever.
Yeah.
And it was insta-love.
There's an attempt at emotional communication at the end or towards the end of the book, but it's not good.
No.
It doesn't actually do anything. It's anyway.
It was what I think it was chapter 2 that they actually start to like fall in love with each other. Chapter 2,
It's
that's
like
too soon.
as soon as they meet.
That is way too soon.
Yeah, it was just weird and and uncomfortable and not even well done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like I also didn't know what any of the characters wanted. Like, what were their arcs? What were their arcs meant to be in this book?
All I know is Crow's words laughed a lot. Like, that was the only cool emotion. Name. Crow's words was a cool name. They laughed. Yep. Every word they said there was a laugh after it. They were pissing themselves laughing half of the book.
Apparently so.
They were having a great time. They were the only one. But
I just don't understand what like the character arcs were meant to be.
No, not at all. It was this. Is it the son of Ricefish or whatever?
Yeah,
the
Ho.
Child. Yeah,
who is the child of Ricefish and her previous wife.
Do they get a name?
The Red Scholar, Juan, I think.
Okay.
Who dies right before the start of the book. And their child Ho is like, I think he's meant to be like in his 30s. It's not entirely clear to me.
Yeah.
And he is the leader of the Purple Banner, I think. And he has this whole thing where like he hated his parents because they didn't like love each other in the way that he thought they should, because they didn't have sex. His parents, like, that's their whole thing, is that Ricefish and the Red Scholar like had this like purely transactional business relationship thing where they did care for each other, but like I think Ricefish wanted it to be more and the Red Scholar didn't want it to be more, and so their son was like, you guys hate each other, why don't you just fuck, basically,
because that solves everything. And then decided
that he hated them all for the rest of time.
He was so whiny every time he popped up, and like that's what's on your mind when you look at your parents. No, that's no, absolutely not. Go away and assess that, please. Because
it's bad times.
Yeah. You can tell they were like semi-abusive parents. You can kind of tell from that. But like, or like they're just like not around
just
a lot.
Shit. But yeah, they were just shit parents.
They were just shit parents. But like that, you should not just be telling your parents to fuck to get over it. Because he also says it to Zeishi as well at some point.
Yeah.
You guys should just have an intimate
when
time.
When she first meets him, she's like, I am your mum's new wife, but like I'm not her lover. Don't worry, I'm not going to replace your other mum.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, they didn't love each other either. They never fucked.
Rip. Like, goddamn.
Like, what is this?
This is your first meeting with the woman.
It's
how?
Yeah. I feel like this book tries to be character focused instead of plot focused. Like, obviously there is plot, but it tries to be like a character focused thing.
Yeah.
But the issue is that the characters are just badly written.
They're so two-dimensional that it was so annoying.
Yeah.
Because we don't get enough time, it feels like, with either of them, even though we're in their heads the entire time, for them to feel real.
You don't really ever get like development. You don't get a sense of who they are.
Yeah.
At all.
It doesn't make any sense. So
you're just and like you say, even though you spend like half of the book with each of them, you never really get a sense for who they actually are and what they actually want, and it's just it's bad.
It is bad.
It's just bad. It's just bad character writing.
It's just. It's also, I had a big qualm with the kind of like romance that they're promoting in this. The main character getting kidnapped and basically forced into a marriage that they don't want in the beginning. And suddenly it became very Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Very quickly. It just, the instant attraction, awful, very early kiss. They know each other a month. That's another thing. The timeline? When? Where?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it was like entirely unclear how long all of this happens over. Like, is this... Because at points it feels like it could just be a matter of fucking days.
Yeah.
But it's clearly not meant to be a matter of days. I just
remembered a quote that I have written down for their Insta-love kiss. The first kiss, I think one line later, she says in their own head that they felt the kiss tingle their womb.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading that and being like, what?
What? It's giving she titted down the stairs, tittily.
Look,
what is that?
I don't have a womb, but I'm fairly sure that wombs don't tingle when you're aroused even.
Nope. What the fuck? What is this? Who edited
bizarre.
this?
Oh, God.
It was awful.
Truly, truly awful.
Please never
and that's
write
on
this.
The characters. Fucking hell.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The upside of this being really awful, right, is that I have so many books to suggest at the end of this that are just better.
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Atmosphere / world building. What did you give it?
4.
A 4? I gave this a 1.
Really? Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
I can see why.
Okay.
Right.
It did not feel at all piratey.
No. It
Like, we are told repeatedly that they're pirates and they pillage and steal
Plunder.
people and
Yeah.
and all this, but it doesn't feel piratey.
Yeah.
It feels sci-fi because
Yeah.
they're in space and shit, but it doesn't feel like they're pirates.
It doesn't at all. Because it just feels like they're part of, like, a military organization or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, like...
It
they're
could just
part
be like
of,
a generic,
kingdom.
like, sci-fi rebellion sort of thing.
Okay. Giving credit where it's worth, Cryers War at least felt like they were in a rebellion.
Yeah.
Even though they had to state, we're a rebellion.
Yeah.
But this... they just feel like their own actual entity, an own actual, like, a country or continent or, like, a hierarchy and not pirates. Pirates, this didn't come into it. Sure, they raid some other people, but that's about it. And only once. They raid one. They raid one ship.
It was just shit. Because I love space pirates. But we didn't get space pirates. I was told there would be space pirates, and there's not really... Like, they're technically they're there. They're space pirates. But it doesn't feel like they're space pirates. Yeah. So you can tell me as many fucking times as you want that they're pirates and they do piratey things.
And you can say arg.
They're not pirates. They don't feel like pirates. Nothing piratey really happens. And it just made me very sad.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm completely agreeing.
And then my other big issue with the world building was just the sheer level of just totally incomprehensible. What are bots? What is an overlay? What does any of this fucking mean? How does a mind chip work? Just anything. Any amount of world building would have been better than just telling me repeatedly, like, oh, her bots crawled up her arms. And I'm like, what does that look like?
Yeah, exactly. Are they
what
under
do they
your
do?
skin?
What are they
over
for?
your skin?
It just, like, it really... And it just keeps happening. And I know that this is a book set in a universe that the author has written other books in, but it is a standalone. So you have to expect that people are only going to read this one.
Yeah.
I sure as hell aren't going to read any of the others after that.
Oh god, no. Absolutely
So you need to be able to be willing to be like, I need to do some basic world building so that anybody who only picks up this book knows what the fuck is going on.
Absolutely.
Because I should be able to read the book and understand what a bot is and what a bot does. I should be able to understand what the fuck it means to be in overlay. Because I don't.
Yeah.
What did any of it mean?
What does an overlay look like? You're just saying, oh, I'm going to call my wife. Or the weird, was it psychic connection or something that happened?
Maybe. I don't know. The weird, like, private message channel that they have.
Right. They are texting
like,
each other on the sly all the time.
It's like, is this like a psychic connection? Is it because she's a ship? Is it just, like, it was just entirely just... nonsense.
Or is it over the tannoy and can everyone hear this?
Like in Star Trek.
Yeah. Everyone can hear your relationship beef with everyone. That would be so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was just like totally lost the whole time.
Because like the only reason I rated it a 4 was because I liked the concepts. Like at a base level, a conceptual level, it would have been alright. Like I like mind ships because I love Becky Chambers' mind ships. Bots and overlays. Slay. Very sci-fi. What do they look like? Tell us more. Yeah. Tell anything. Tell me anything.
Literally just tell us anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About like how it works or what it's supposed to do, what they look like.
For sure. Oh, they all look the same. Did you not? There's one paragraph where like everyone has the same haircut. That I noticed. Everyone has long hair. Everyone has the same 3 physical like aspects about them. If they're ever described, everyone's got a top knot. Everyone. But that's the only way they're described. That is it.
Yeah.
That really pissed me off. I was like, please, make your characters look more interesting. Give them scars. Tell me about their scars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them fucky weird sci-fi haircuts that are dumb colours. I love a dumb colour haircut.
Yeah. Just build the world out in a way that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
And like I say, like I understand that there's other books set in this universe that hopefully do set this sort of stuff up. But this is a standalone. It's not part of a series. It's not connected to any of the other books beyond being in the same universe. So as an author, you have to be thinking, people are going to read this one without reading the others. Yeah. So I need to make sure that it makes sense to somebody who has no idea what the fuck a bot in this universe is or does. And that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think that is shit. Mm-hmm. It's not a good way to make me want to read any of your other books. Yeah. Because I can't trust that you're going to make them make sense.
It doesn't. It makes 0 sense. No one will want to pick these up. No one. If this is the first thing they're reading, awful. Make it better. Please.
Yeah. And I think it will be a lot of people's like introduction to this universe because it is a romance. And I think the other ones, the like main series set in this universe, I think is just sort of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Whereas this is specifically marketed as like a Zuya universe romance.
Yeah.
So there'll be people who pick this up because they're interested in romance, not because they're interested in sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to get any of those people continuing to read any of the other books.
Because even though there's a lot of insta-love tropes and a lot of like romance stuff, don't do it here. This is done really badly. Awful.
Yeah.
End it. End the relationship. Run. Because she's... Ricefish just comes across psychopathic most of the time. And I'm not even kidding. She does!
You're not wrong.
It's just because...
You're not wrong.
You're my wife now. Kiss me. No. Stop
also,
talking in my brain.
Both of them, repeatedly, at different points in the book, are doing the whole, like, oh, but I can't sort of thing.
Right.
Which...
Absolutely not.
Oh, God.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
You have sex 50% the way through the book. God. No one enjoyed it.
That's the... Right, okay. No, we're talking about this sex scene again.
Okay, please.
So it happens... It is set in the, like, heart room of the ship. Right? Which is where there's, like, weird fleshy bits.
Right.
I think.
Why
right?
Would you
and it's, like,
to?
sort of described as, like... There's just, like, bits of flesh, like, hanging about that presumably are, like... The fit, like, the literal physical form that was originally a person, potentially, who then got turned into a ship.
Yeah.
And during this sex scene, Ricefish is there as like a digital avatar or something.
Mm-hmm. Also, that also didn't make any sense. Her fucking avatar body, not a clue.
And Zichi is like touching the avatar, but also occasionally just like stroking the lumps of flesh.
Right, it's so
to
gross.
Like get her off, and it's disgusting.
It's horrible.
Not nice. It's not sexy. It's like
cut it. Cut it out.
Oh,
get out of there.
It was one of like I don't read a lot of like sexy romance books.
No.
Right? Like if I'm reading romance, it tends to not be like the kind where there's just like random sex scenes. But there's the occasional one. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Sex doesn't like squick me out like it maybe does for you, Eve.
Oh yeah.
But this did. This really did.
It was I tapped out.
I was reading it, I was like, oh, that's like disgusting.
It was the one area in the book where they are actually writing properly as well. We knew exactly where they were, what was happening, what they were saying to each other.
Detailed part of the book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stop. If you've not made the rest of the book this detailed, don't make this section the most detailed bit.
I feel like if it had just been between Zichi and like Ricefish's like digital avatar, that would have been fine. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted it, but it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But because they're in this room that is like the heart of what makes Ricefish, mm-hmm. and she's just like stroking bits of flesh, and it's giving Ricefish the fucking like gross. Sexy shivers. It's like, what?
Why are you doing this? It's awful. Run away.
It truly is. It's really disgusting. Mm-hmm. It's like, the sort of thing that you might find in like a body horror book.
Yes, that's exactly. Cause I was going to bring up.
That's not what this is.
What was it? What's it called? Hell Followed With Us.
Yeah,
like that's some kind of messed up crap you would see, but like no, this is uncalled for. It's
just what.
Absolutely.
It's really just like absolutely disgusting. Mm-hmm. Didn't need to be there. Nobody wanted it. Nobody needed it. It did nothing for the plot.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
If it does nothing for the plot, cut it. I beg. It was... Made me want a boat. Made me want a boat.
Yeah. I literally was like being like, oh, while I was reading it. I had to explain to my partner what was happening. Oh, God. She was like, why are you making disgusted noises? And I was like, well, let me tell you. Oh.
And like, this just adds to how disgusting I felt this scene. Like, when they do the first kiss, like earlier on, Zichi mentions how Ricefish tastes. And it's like oil.
Yeah, she's
not having a good time.
About
how
disgusting. She talks a few times about like Ricefish being like metallic and oily.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not sexy.
It's really not. They should see a doctor. They could be anemic.
It reminds me of... Did you ever read Song of Achilles?
Yeah.
Do you know the bit where... Oh God, where fucking what's his name goes to try and find Achilles, and Achilles is like got married to this woman?
Yeah.
And then the woman like forces Patroclus to sleep with her.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like talks about how it's oily between her legs. I was like, oily?
What? Oily?
Oily? Like, ugh.
Okay. Yeah, we know you're gay, but oily is not the way to describe it.
Yeah, it was just, it's just disgusting. And that's what that reminded me of.
Absolutely.
Was that same, like...
Megan.
Yeah, disgusting. Truly disgusting.
Truly.
Oh.
Writing style?
Oh, God. Yeah, writing style. I gave it a 4.
Same. 4.
The only note I've written for writing style was, it was fine.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my thoughts on writing style.
I wrote it was very flat, feels like fan fiction. There's one specific phrase that is used a lot, and it made me giggle. We are outnumbered, outgunned. I was like,
Lin? Breaking into Hamilton.
Lin-Manuel? What are you doing here? Why are you in my falafel? What are you Why? Why are you using song lyrics? This happens multiple times. Like in the beginning,
it does, you're right.
in chapter 3, I think, and then right before the sex scene. The sex scene traumatized me, okay?
Oh god.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Because, like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm picky when it comes to writing styles. That's a lie. But it just... That's a full lie. I'm not
untrue.
being I'm very picky. I've told you a big lie, audience. I'm so sorry. But it just felt...
This is going to be Eve's last episode of the podcast.
I have done you wrong. This is an apology video.
We're cancelling you.
I've done too.
You're going to get the ukulele
lies.
out.
Yeah. My tiny violin.
Do the Colleen Ballinger.
Oh, yes. Oh, don't tempt me. I will bust out my guitar right now, bitch.
Oh, God.
No, but there was so many things in the writing that really, really irked me. Like, I can't remember. What is it? It's not Taiwanese culture. What is it called?
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. Thank you. I've obviously, I'm not a Vietnamese culture. I cannot really comment on this, but I really didn't like when they kept calling each other sis or lil sis.
Yeah.
It just felt like, sure, say it, but like most people won't understand if they're from other places or if they don't know Vietnamese culture that well. But it just made me feel a little bit uncomfortable when they talk to each other.
What I think would have made it better,
Yeah.
because it is sort of implied that when they say those things, they're saying a word that means that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand is why
Why they didn't just use
she
the
couldn't
word.
just use the word.
Yeah.
Just put the word in there. Just have some Vietnamese in there.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to be reading them talking about calling each other sister, because culturally, for me, that's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I hope that makes sense from a Vietnamese culture point of view.
Yeah.
But as somebody from Scotland, it doesn't make sense, and I would have preferred that there was just a Vietnamese word that I could then like look up if I wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think as well that goes like a long way towards like building a bit of universe, you know? Rather
Absolutely.
than repeatedly being like, oh, she used the word that means big sis, she used the word that means auntie. Just use the word. Just
use
put
the
the word on the page.
You can totally add a glossary as well of what the words mean.
Yeah.
Because like you already have all this technological stuff that you've implemented, that you've put in. Why not also put in different words, different cultures? A-okay.
Yeah.
Just
I think
use
it
the
goes
word.
a long way to making a universe feel more lived in.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
everybody's not just speaking English.
Exactly. Because
So put the word in there.
yes, please.
Would have been preferable.
Because it just doesn't translate well sometimes.
Yeah.
In some scenes, it was a bit
Yeah.
like they were making out.
The
and then-
context of it, when you're lacking the cultural context, the using the literal translation makes it weird at points.
Yeah.
And it's a strange decision to have made to not just be like, I'm just going to put the Vietnamese word in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally the only like major peeve I had with the writing style is please just use the word. It's okay. We will get it. Because it never explains why they use the word, so I had to Google it.
Yeah.
I had to Google it anyway, so just put the word
Yeah,
in.
so just put the word in.
Just put the word in. It would make more sense.
It would. It really would.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Anything else for writing style?
No, that's me.
Okay, let's move on then to plot.
1,
3.
3. Okay. I didn't finish it, so it might have got
No,
better.
you didn't.
It might have got better.
I liked the concept.
Yeah. The concept's there.
I didn't like the execution. But there is, on occasion, an indication of some plot.
Yeah.
And towards the end, there is some plot sort of stuff that isn't wrapped up very well.
Oh no.
But it does exist, and that's that.
It's because in the beginning it just felt that the plot was there for like vibes.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah, I get it's a romance book. Like, fair enough. The central focus will be the romance. But the plot needs to add to the romance, or at least have any character drive at all, would be great. Because
when you're doing a romance, you either need a plot that is not directly related to the romantic relationship, but which helps to develop the romantic relationship, or you need the plot to be the development of the romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And what this had was a plot that was not the romantic relationship, that was supposed to develop the romantic relationship, but didn't.
Because it's a whole kind of, I've kidnapped you, we're pirates, we should pillage, plunder, arg, and then nothing happens. And it's weird that you've went from, there's backstory here in the prologue of me killing your partner of Zishi? I forget if they have a partner or not. And like, them dying, the Red Scholar dying, oh my gosh, there's this intrigue, nothing fucking happens.
Yeah. And like, partway through the book, it sort of randomly introduces this whole thing about how Ricefish and her previous wife wanted to make the banners into this sort of like utopia where everything's good for people and bad things don't happen, but that felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't feel like that was part... Like, if from the start, it had been clearer that the plot was there were factions of pirates who wanted things to change and who wanted to not be enslaving people and to try and create this like, haven that's safe from the, like, governments and stuff. And there was another faction who wanted to just, like, be pirates and do bad things. That would have been good.
Yeah.
But instead, that turns up randomly partway through the book and is executed badly from there on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Everyone is an entitled brat.
Yep.
Every single one of the characters.
I did not
same.
like anybody in this book. There was no character that I came out of this book being like, oh, that was a nice character. I enjoyed them.
Everyone seems to have their own wants, and none of them communicate what they actually want. Do any of them actually have opinions about how to change this fucking pirate society? No. They literally don't say shit for most of the novel.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, you guys are married? Slay. That's mainly what they talk about, and it was so infuriating. I was just like, come on, you're pirates, be better. One of you's named Crownest. I need this.
Crow's word.
Crow's word, sorry. Word. It's,
Yeah.
It's just...
It is. It's not good.
It just bothered me a lot.
Which I guess sort of leads us into intrigue.
Yeah.
Because clearly this book was supposed to have political intrigue.
It did not have a single moment
But
of
the political intrigue was not intriguing.
Yeah.
Or good.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a
for
1.
intrigue. What I've written here is I finished it. That's a point up. I finished the book. But a point down, I didn't want to finish it.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted the book to keep going, but because I didn't want to have finished. I didn't want to have read this book.
Yeah.
I finished it because I got to a point where I was like, I could just finish this now.
Yeah.
I was like, I can DNF it, but also like I'm close to finishing it, so I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
There's just like there's supposed to be political intrigue among the pirates, right? Like there's this like one of the other leaders of one of the banners is like betraying them all to one of the governments because she just wants money, I guess. And she just wants power and she doesn't really care and blah-de-blah-de-blah. And there's supposed to be all this like political intrigue with the leader of one of the governments who like led the fleet that killed Ricefish's previous wife. And is now like coming for the pirates and she's going to end them all. And at one point she the Zichi's daughter gets like taken by a different set of pirates.
Yeah.
Or no, the person that is looking after Zichi's daughter decides to sell her into indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Because she needs the money, I guess. And Zichi goes to be like, fuck no, give me my daughter back.
Yeah.
And then while she's there, for some fucking reason, this woman who is like in charge of the fleet, this government fleet, is also there. I can't remember why she's there, but she's there. And she lets them go, and she's like, I'll let you go if you, like, think about helping me, maybe.
Tee-hee.
And then she turns up later at the end with her fleet to, like, attack the pirates, and Zichi and her, like, end up agreeing to, like, work against the pirates who have betrayed the other pirates. And it's just totally uninteresting. I did not care.
Not a single...
I would have been totally fine if this woman had just destroyed all the pirates and everything was done.
Big bomb. It's over.
Yeah.
It must say something that I've been listening to you talk about that, and I'm just like, when did this happen?
After you probably
after I've... Okay, great. Because I was just like, what?
I think that was all in the second half of the book.
Great. Awful. Why isn't any of this in the first part? Oh.
Because the first part's all about setting up their
sex scene.
Deep and earned love.
But it's so
that was
bad.
Sarcasm for anybody who doesn't pick up on sarcasm.
They're awful relationship.
Truly awful.
Truly. I think that kind of moves us on to logic.
Yeah.
2.
I gave it a 3.
2. Okay, great.
2 and a 3.
Once again, none of this made sense.
Yeah, it was totally incomprehensible. Made no fucking sense. None of the tech made any sense. None of the plot made any sense. None of the character decisions made any sense. None of the relationships made any sense. It was nonsense. The whole fucking book.
Yeah. This is why I felt in writing style that it felt like fan fiction.
Yeah.
Because that's a bad rap for fan fiction. Some of them are fantastic. Some of the people in AO3 survived the war well, and they're crushing it. But it just feels like poorly written fanfic. It's not good, especially because you've already set up this world with numerous other books. You should have a better grasp on it. Why are you not telling us anything? Anything would have been good.
Yeah.
But no. You're putting characters who have no personality over the plot of the world you've already built, of a universe you've already built, and giving us the blandest of characters.
Yep, and no explanation of any of the aspects of the world.
Exactly.
We're just told about things, but never actually have them explained to us.
Mm-hmm. We're expected to know what it means, but we don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm. There is the thing in writing where you're not supposed to treat your audience like you're idiots. But you still have to tell them stuff, because sometimes they're idiots and we don't know because it's in your head and not ours.
Yeah. And I think it almost has... There's almost a level of entitlement to it, of assuming that your audience that the people reading this book have read your other books.
Yeah.
Most
people will go for the standalone over the series.
Yeah.
Because some people are intimidated by series, especially sci-fi series.
Yeah.
Because sci-fi is a hard genre, so make your standalone accessible, and then you'll get an even bigger audience if people like the standalone.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's an inaccessible universe because nothing is explained to you. And I think it's probably fair to say that more people have heard of the Red Scholar's Wake than any of the other books set in that same universe.
I didn't know it was a series until you told me it was a series before I started it. Yeah. So I had no idea. Most people will know it. And plus, why make it gorgeous if shit?
Yeah.
Why is it so pretty?
Good point. The cover is nice.
It's lovely. I think it's gorgeous. Fantastic character design. Absolutely.
I think there is a bad cover of it as well, though.
Is there? Oh.
The
one I see is the shiny one. So
the
two people on the cover.
There's a nice one and a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two people, nice little galaxy.
That joyous thing of like US UK covers.
Oh no.
Like we have this really pretty red one, with the two distant figures. Hang on, I found the other cover. I'll send it to you.
Oh, bro.
So you can
please.
Because I've just realised that all of the description you've given of the nice cover also sort of applies to the bad cover.
Oh no. Okay.
So
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why are their faces like that?
Yep, a good question.
Go look at the UK cover if you haven't seen the UK cover, because it's so much better.
It's so much better.
Oh my god, I hate it.
I don't know why these pictures are so small, by the way. I'm sorry.
Red Skullers Week's massive, and then tiny little US cover, Red Skullers Week.
Anyway, the UK cover's gorgeous. The other one, not so much.
No, not at all.
The only reason I gave Logic a 3 was because the rules, such as they are of this universe, aren't explicitly broken in the book.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't do that thing of setting up a rule and then immediately breaking it.
Yeah.
So it got a point for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just an inaccessible, badly written book.
Yeah.
With horrifically yucky insta-love and a really disgusting sex scene.
Really disgusting. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
I put up with Jay Kristoff's lesbian sex scenes that are horrendously written, and this is the one that made me feel sick. People who've read them will know they're awful. They're so bad, and they're plot-driven.
Oh no.
There's plot in them, and it makes no sense. I hate it. God damn it.
But yeah, I think that sex scene could have worked really well in like a body horror.
Yeah.
For
sure.
If it was deliberately intended to be creepy.
Uh-huh.
But I think the intention is that that's supposed to be sexy.
No.
And it's not.
I don't want to do that. No one wants to do that. No one. I was going to say a much worse sentence and decided not to do it because it's grossing me out in my head.
Okay, let's move on to enjoyment.
Enjoyment. 1.
Since we clearly weren't enjoying that.
No one enjoyed it.
I gave it a 2 for enjoyment.
A 1 and a 2.
A 1 and a 2.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel like we've covered a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
It was not good. It was poorly executed.
Yeah.
Incomprehensible. It wasn't fun. There weren't any characters I wanted, I liked.
Mm-hmm.
There was a horrific sex scene.
Yeah. Go away from this book. Leave it.
Just go away.
Just go away.
And never come back.
Never.
Oh,
well, come
God.
back here. Don't go back there.
Yes.
We're great.
Come back and keep listening to us.
Yeah. We have to listen to us.
We don't have a choice. We could stop doing the podcast, but I'm not letting this book kill us.
Yeah. It's what broke us. What ended the podcast?
To allow that to happen. No, it won't.
But we're going to get healed next month. We're going to get healed.
Oh. I'm so glad that we've got a book that we have both already read and both loved.
And both loved with all our hearts. Travis.
Because we read that in May?
Mm-hmm. Oh, great stuff.
Anyway.
We're reading it now.
Speaking of great stuff, let's talk about some books that you should read instead of The Red Scholar's Way.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
I never wrote them down.
I will start then with, naturally, The Wayfarers series by Becky Chambers.
Yes.
That is legitimately good sci-fi, has legitimately good queer relationships in it, and is just really good and nice and better than this.
Yeah.
I've talked about them all a lot before, but, go read them. They're fantastic.
We need to do an episode on them at some point.
I would even say that I might be wrong about this, but I think even if you're somebody who isn't normally a fan of sci-fi, read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Oh, absolutely.
The sci-fi is just sort of the skin on it.
Yeah.
And
there is a lot of romance, if you like
they're
romance.
Such wonderful books, anyway.
And they promote very different types of relationships, very healthy relationships. It's amazing to see. And different types of cultures as well. And it's fantastic. I devoured the Wayfarer series. It's delightful.
Yeah.
The one I pulled up is a series you also really like, so slay us. Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdez.
Yes! That was my next one.
Oh, I loved this book. I need to keep going in the series because I've only read the first one. But
I am reading the third one at the moment.
Oh,
in fact.
Is it good?
It is my current book.
Is it?
I'm loving it, yeah.
I really love this. Oh, it is so funny. It's so silly. And it feels kind of like a video game. And
they're very video game inspired.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Mass Effect in there.
Absolutely.
In the second one, there's a lot of Pokemon stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
Weirdly enough. The third one has some Smash references.
Oh, hell yeah.
As well as like a couple of other things. They're very fun.
Also,
for sure.
Very accessible sci-fi. You're part of a ragtag crew, much like Becky Chambers. There's psychic cats. It's just so fun. I just love
they're like
I love it so much.
They're like proper sort of space opera vibes as well.
Absolutely. This is what a space
really
opera should be.
And like we were talking about using like the Vietnamese word, there's a lot of Spanish in those books.
Yeah.
And it flows really nicely,
Yeah.
and it makes the world feel bigger because of it.
Exactly.
That is like what was running through my head when we were talking about that earlier.
Heck yeah. Oh my god, same.
So yes, Chilling Effect is the first
Chilling
one,
Effect.
and then there's Prime Deceptions and Fault Tolerance. And
So
I
cute.
also just read another book by Valerie Valdez that came out quite recently called Where Peace is Lost, which is also sci-fi, but it's different. It's different from the other ones. It's like science fantasy sort of.
Yeah.
And the main character is this woman who was a soldier in a war, and the other team was basically about to win, so her side like surrendered and agreed to like disband their armies and stuff, and she's gone into hiding, just like living peacefully on this quiet planet where nobody goes. And then a war machine operated by the other side wakes up on that planet after being dormant for ages, and she finds herself like roped back into helping, and it's really fun. So
Heck yeah.
also read that one. Valerie Valdez is fucking fantastic. I cannot recommend her books enough.
Oh, they're so good.
They're just really fun, and
it's exactly what you need, even if you don't know what's what you need, because it's cozy as well.
They're
like
so
those
cozy
books.
and so funny and so just like
Perfect.
easy. They're just like wonderful little easy books to read.
Absolutely.
But even though they're easy, they're still like
Hard hitting. Because
they're still like
it made me
quite
cry.
deep and like meaningful and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, it made me a little tear up a little bit. It was so good.
So if you have read Becky Chambers and you're looking for something like Becky Chambers,
Valerie Valdez.
look at Valerie Valdez, because it's a slightly different tone, but there's also a lot of similarity.
Yeah.
I have also put, of course, The Locked Tomb by Tamsin
Yes,
Muir.
that was what I went on.
I don't think we need to go into detail here.
No.
We've talked about The Locked Tomb many, many times on this podcast.
And hopefully next year we'll get to talk about it more. Please publish Alecto.
Please. We need book 4.
I'm desperate.
I need to know what happens. So yeah, The Locked Tomb, Tamsin Muir.
Locked into, yeah. It's such a good book. Books.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth, Nona the
Ninth.
Ninth, and one day Alecto the Ninth.
Oh no.
Okay, do you have more recommendations?
I have 2 more.
Oh, I've got loads more.
Have you got 2 more? All right, fantastic. I can pull more out if need be.
I've got 4 more.
Oh, fantastic. I'll quickly go. One we've already read together. God Killer. Is it Hannah Kaner?
Yeah.
If you like I was about to say, if you like this, what the fuck? If you like just fantasy...
Look, if you liked this book, you might actually like Crier's War too.
Oh, God. How? Those books awful. That's actually... if you like this, go read Crier's War. You'll eat it, but it's awful. Godkiller Hanarkaner, we've already read it. We read it months ago. We had a great time. Gods appearing based on human interest. The main character has to go to somewhere to not rescue a god. We'll get a god unattached from a child. It is a very, very fun book. It's got a lot of different cultures in it, much like this, and it is a great time. I don't know what else to say about it.
We did a whole episode about it.
Go read the book, listen to our episodes, come back.
Which was in April?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe?
I think it was like our second or third book we read.
You'll be able to find it if you look on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Go listen to that. No, it was not April, it was May.
Oh, same thing.
But it was our second episode.
Oh, brill.
Go listen to that.
It is
because we had
it's a good book.
And it was a good book. We enjoyed it.
And the sequel is coming out at some point.
Oh yeah.
That I think
maybe we'll do that as a book club at some point.
That could be fun. As it was a good book. It was a decent book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was fine.
Yeah. It was fine. No, yeah, I remember. It was fine.
I'm just going to go back and look at how I scored it, because I can't remember.
Wait, what did I score that book?
Oh, yeah, I scored it a 7.4 out of 10, so you probably scored it like a 5 or something.
Oh, I scored it a 6. I got a full 6.
Oh, there we go. See, I wasn't that far off.
Fantastic. Damn.
Oh, yeah, the cover for the next one looks nice.
Right? So pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, so maybe we'll read that. But yeah, go read Godkiller. That was actually quite good. That's a good recommendation. I hadn't thought about that book in months.
It's purely because I saw the cover the other day, so I was thinking about it. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my next recommendation, Frontier by Grace Curtis.
Hell yeah! Woo.
I was just like, how many sapphic sci-fi books can I name? Frontier by Grace Curtis. I've talked about it a lot before. It's, again, in that sort of Becky Chambers vein. It's sapphic, it's sci-fi, it's a western. It's really good.
Love it.
Yeah.
I need to read it. I do. My next one was another T. Kingfisher book, because I'm devouring T. Kingfisher at the moment. I've read so many now since our last month's book club. Oh, so good. Clockwork Boys, which is her NaNoWriMo project that was split into 2 books. So Clockwork Boys is the first one, and I can't remember the name of the sequel, but it's somewhere. Oh, it's the Clockatar Wars or whatever the series title is. About a paladin, assassin, forger, scholar, all riding out of town to go and defeat an incoming army called the Clockwork Boys, which are made of like metal and gears that have become sentient and become quite like a problem. And the Dowager has the Dowager Queen or whatever she's called has asked as enlisted criminals to go and save the day. It's very fun. It's very fun.
I might have to pick it up sometime.
It's so good.
Cool.
I tabbed the hell out of it.
Gear Breakers.
Yay!
Gear Breakers by Zoe Hannah. Have you read it yet?
I haven't.
No.
I'll pick it up next. I'm almost finished Thorn Edge by T. Kingfisher, so I'll pick it up after.
How are you enjoying Thorn Edge?
I picked it up last night. It's so fun.
It is.
I am only 58 pages in, but it's so good.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Anyway, Gear Breakers by Zoe Hannah Makuta. Also sapphic and sci-fi, and this one's dystopian, and there's mechs, and it's like a whole big. The vibes wise, it felt like a mashup of like Hell Followed With Us and The Locked Tomb, and it was just, I really enjoyed it. So go read Gear Breakers. I've recommended this one a few times, so nobody has any excuses anymore.
Okay, I'll go read it. I'll go read it. Fine.
Any more?
How many have you got left?
I've got two.
Okay, I think I've got two that are coming up the top of my head. So I mentioned this, I think, maybe last month or a month before it. The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Naw, which, if you liked the sex scene with its body horror, you will like this short novella about body horror, about a plague doctor and a mermaid who eat people and visit a cult of children who eat each other. I won't say much more because it's 100 pages. I will literally start... it's very fairy tale, and I will start giving stuff away if I say any more about it. It's very good. It's very Halloween. It's great. It's very body horror. I loved it.
Yeah. I've got a couple that are more on the piratey side for anybody who's looking for like piratey. I couldn't think of any sci-fi pirate ones, but I read a book and the sequel. The first book is called Seafire.
Oh, okay.
By Natalie C. Parker.
Ooh.
And it is like sort of like steampunky, solar punky, piratey.
Love that.
Again, very queer. It's sort of YAE. YAE. And it's about this band of like, I think entirely like all women pirates.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they're like, they've all like lost their families and homes and stuff because of an evil empire, and then they're out pirating, and then, you know, shit happens and stuff. It's very fun, very piratey, you know. It's got the good vibes, but it's also got like some like, it's not like Golden Age of Sail sort of piratey. There's like technology stuff in there too, which I really enjoyed.
Sick.
Even though the main character's name is Caledonia Styx, which
kidding.
is horrifically
That's
YA.
so bad.
But they were quite good books. So, Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. I can recommend that if you're looking for pirate.
Heck yeah.
And then I've got one more, and I might as well just bash this one out as well now. The Wicked Bargain by Gabe Cole Novoa, also piratey. This one is like pirate fantasy, and it's basically about this guy, this young transmasc teen who, as a kid, their dad, I think they were like nearly dying, and their dad made this like bargain with the devil to be like, if you save my kid, then in like 16 years you can have me, or something like that. And so like on their 16th birthday, the devil turns up and is like, I'm having your dad now, yoink. And then they have like fire and ice magic.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, I'm gonna get my dad back from the devil, and so they meet this other kid who's like this pirate guy, and there's like a bit of a romance developing, and there's
cute.
a gender fluid demon who also helps them.
Me.
And it's really, really nice and good fun, and also YA, again very piratey, and yeah, because obviously the author is Latino. It's also like there's a lot of Latino stuff in it.
Brilliant.
It's really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
So I would recommend that. The Wicked Bargain
so good.
by Gabe Cole Novoa. I am now done with my recommendations. Do you have any more?
It popped into my head while you were saying stuff about just at the end. Iron Widow by Jiren. I can never pronounce their name.
Jiren J. Zhao.
Yeah, Jiren J. Zhao. Iron Widow. The sequel, Heavenly Tyrant's coming out next year, hopefully. Yep. So that is it Chinese, or I'll just say Asian because I can't remember if it's Chinese specifically. Is it Chinese? Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Mechs, feminism. It's great. It's polyamorous. It's perfect. I loved it. I devoured it. I can't wait for the sequel. And It's about, I think it's the one Chinese female emperor. So that's also really fun. Go read it. It's a great time.
Okay, I think we are finally done with the Red Scholars Week. We can wash our hands of it now.
Finally.
So,
oh my gosh.
Let's see, what have we got? Oh, yes. So, obviously, make sure you're also listening to Talking in the Tavern.
Woo.
We have episodes of that coming out monthly as well. We have got an episode that will have come out 2 weeks before this one, all about book talk.
Hell yeah.
And alternatives to popular book talk books. So go give that a listen, because I'm sure it's a banger. We've not recorded it yet, but it will be.
We're recording it soon.
Yeah, and we have another book club episode, of course, in December. It'll be coming out on the 19th of December, which is a little bit... We've shifted the schedule for December because Christmas. And we'll be talking about Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry.
I'm so excited.
So you've got plenty of time, because that comes out will have already come out by the time this episode comes out. So you've got plenty of time to read the book.
Heck yeah.
Before the episode. It's so good.
It's so good.
I cannot wait to talk about it.
I devoured it.
And we don't have a Talking in the Tavern for December, because instead we have a blooper reel.
Woo!
Which is coming out next week on the 5th.
The 5th, yes.
The 5th of December. That is 1 week from today, assuming that we schedule everything correctly.
Remember the 5th of December. So.
Exactly. So we've got that coming up as like an end of year thing, and then it'll be next year before we know it.
Exactly.
And it'll be like season 2 of Hearth and Tome.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Dun-dun.
We're out of the first season bumpies, and it's uphill from here.
Exactly.
Until we hit like season 5, and then it starts going downhill again.
And we're like, why are we still here? Kidding.
And everybody's like, why don't they just stop already?
I've got too big
Show
of a
hasn't been good
TBR.
in years. Meh, 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 meh.
It's too big a TBR. We need to cut. We're trying
Say
our best.
that, but actually, this has probably just kept adding to my TBR.
Mainly
It's not
these
helped
books
me
have
clear
added.
it out.
Well, we'll eventually read something that's actually already on our physical TBRs.
Yeah, I'm sure we definitely will.
Sure, maybe. Oh no. Oh gosh.
So thank you for joining us at the tavern. Eve, where can our dear listeners find you on the internet?
Well, if you read this book and were unlucky to see Crow, well, you found another Crow. What the fuck have I said? This has just gone downhill.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube.
YouTube. Oh, god damn it. And YouTube. Yep. I'm on there as Cozy Crow, a better crow than what was in this book, who kept laughing. Much like them, I can't stop giggling, apparently. Whoops. Phoenix, where can they find you outside the podcast?
You can find me on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at Beans and Fungi. Nice and easy. And should I make you do the...
Oh, I can't speak it. I'll do it. Okay, hold on.
Fine.
I'm just gonna read it. Okay,
yeah. Where, Eve, can our listeners listen to find out stuff about the podcast? That made sense.
Yep. Everything about this outro is making sense.
Yep.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Hearth and Tome Pod, Twitter, Hearth and Tome, and TikTok, hearth.and.tome, to get updates about episodes and behind the scenes clips.
Yes.
I did it.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah.
You did it. You did it. We're all good.
Oh.
So, join us here at the Hearth and Tome Tavern for future episodes of Book Club and Talking in the Tavern, and we will see you next week for some fun little bloopers.
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
And now we are both going to go and fall apart somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely falling apart. We're dying.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.
music used within this episode was Midnight Tale by Kevin MacLeod through incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.